Hi, I'm Jeff, the window expert. Today I've got Nick O'Barr with me, Nick the Turf Man as he's known. And today we're going to answer the question that we get often from our viewers on YouTube. They say, hey, will my windows melt my artificial turf? And the answer is?
Yes.
Yes, okay, but it's more complicated than that. We're going to go through it, break it out for you, and man, this guy's an expert. Like I know windows, he knows turf, so maybe between his chocolate and my peanut butter, we can make a Reese's bar today.
That
Cool?
sounds great.
All right, we're gonna start by doing this. We're gonna turn on the heat lamp, and then we're gonna start talking about some things that are gonna happen. So Nick, before we get started, too far into this, tell us, I see we have a turf on the left, and we have a different turf on the right. What's what?
So on the left-hand side here, this turf is called nylon. On the right-hand side, we have a turf called resort. Both are made of two different types of material, and we're gonna test out how that material holds up to UV light right here.
Okay, now here's the first thing I do notice, and it may be hard for you guys to see, but we'll get close-ups when the light's not on it. This one, to me, looks more realistic.
That's correct, yep.
Okay, why is this more realistic looking compared to that? Is that just the brand thing, or is that the design?
Yeah, that's a great question. So with the design of the nylon, the blades are gonna be a little bit farther apart, and they're gonna be a little more thick and look a little more rubbery. With the resort turf, the blades are a little bit more flush, and they're a little bit softer and skinnier. So you're gonna get a more realistic look and texture from the resort over the nylon turf.
Is it because of the material, or is it intentionally more spaced out so that maybe it breathes better, releases the heat or something? Is that a part of the design?
Yeah, I think both of those are kind of the part of the design with the nylon over the resort. So that's gonna hold a little bit less heat on this one than it would on this one.
Okay, so this one I noticed too has almost like some yellowy looking, brownish, dead grass look.
There you go.
That's on purpose?
That is 100% on purpose. This is made to mimic the Bermuda grass look we have here in Houston.
Okay, great. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to this every so often, and we're gonna check with some temperature gun, the laser gun, to see what the temp is, so we can just see how they're handling the heat. By the way, we have not pre-tested this. This thing may catch on fire. Well, it can't catch on fire, can it?
Cannot catch on fire.
Tell me why.
All the turf is non-flammable.
It's not flammable, okay.
So it can melt, but it can't actually go up in flames.
Okay, good. All right, so let's start with a baseline here. I'm shining it on the right side, the turf that is the best looking one. That's 120, about 120 degrees, compared to the left side over here is about 113. Hopefully you can see that. So obviously way over here, right? This is room temp, 81 degrees. Way over here, 83 degrees. So we're going to come back to this every so often. We'll just see what's going on. Now, one of the reasons that people ask this question, because we get it all the time, is because of the new technology in double pane windows. So if you had a single pane window that's just clear glass, apparently there's no issue with that. Have you experienced any issues with just plain glass? Or
no, it's usually, I think, the double pane windows and kind of the higher end windows, I think, that cause the most problems. Because we're typically seeing this a lot on new construction.
Okay, newer homes.
Right.
Okay, so I brought out two samples here that we're gonna talk about. This one has what we call the 180, which means it has one coat of low E and 80% of the light is allowed to go through. This one is a 366, which means what, do you guess?
Probably going to be a little thicker, and it's going to be more resistant, so it's going to bounce heat and light back off the glass.
Right, so this is 180, meaning one coat of low E. This is 366, meaning?
3 coats.
3 coats of low E. Good job, man. And then 80% of the light comes through, and this says 66, which means 66% of the light comes through. Now, if you look at them, maybe you can see that up close. This does look darker, even to the naked eye, right? Like, so when people consider, like, which glass package do I want? We tell them, like, you're gonna get more light out of less low E and less light out of more low E, right? So there's like a balance. Now there's some other steps, like I'm showing you both ends, right? Like just some other mile markers along the way. So maybe you could pick different ones, but this one is gonna be highly reflective, right? Like this is going to be, in fact, maybe even the camera can see just how much reflection you're getting off of that. This is gonna reflect the heat more than this would. So let's talk about solutions. If we know that for sure that people do have a problem with the sun damaging their turf, tell me some of the things that you've learned, right, that it can prevent this or how to avoid it. And then let's also talk about, like, is it specific to one part of the house or is it the entire house? So tell me what you know about this.
So what I know about this is the 60% difference here does not mean that this will not burn your turf.
Okay.
So any of these windows can still burn your turf. You're going to get more heavy of a burn from the higher pane window, right?
So maybe it takes less heat or less sun.
Correct.
To make a problem with this one, and it would take more sun, but either one,
Correct.
either one's going to problem.
Burn. Exactly.
Okay.
So how do we fix this, right? First option is we use a nylon turf, which burns at about a 450 degree rate, whereas this one is going to burn at about 300 something. So if you want to do the windows, don't have a window tint, then we do the nylon over the resort turf. Nylon's not going to burn. You're not going to have any issues at all.
Okay, what do you mean about window tint? You jumped ahead a little.
Sorry. Exterior window film is the way that we can solve this across any type of turf you want to use. So no matter what window you get, if your house faces either south or north, the sun coming over the house all day long, you're going to get a glare off your back or front windows wherever you do your turf. Okay. So the way we solve any of this issue without installing the nylon turf is we put an exterior window film, which is a tent that basically is smacked onto the outside of the window, and it will catch and absorb any of that glare and not come out and burn your turf.
Okay.
So that's option one.
Okay, so let me ask you about that. So let's suppose that you went to sell a job today. You're helping a homeowner, and you put this on. Do you have a third party, or do you actually do the tint yourself?
No. So we have a third party.
Okay.
I can shout them out if that's okay. Solar X.
Okay.
So Solar X is who we refer you to. They'll come out, give you a free consultation and price on it, and then if you go with them, they'll come out and do your film.
Okay. What does Solar X say about how that affects the warranty on windows? Because that's going to be a question that people want to know. Like, is that tint going to trap more heat on my double pane window and then cause a window failure?
Right. You know, that would be a question you'd have to ask Solar X. I do not know the answer.
Okay, so we're going to ask Solar X that question, and here's the answer. Okay, so if you're telling me that pretty much any window is going to suffer from that, that doesn't mean like every side of the house, all right? Like, wouldn't the west side of the house have the greatest risk?
Yeah, so
because that's where the sun's going to set, and it's going to be there the longest.
Correct. So if you have a westward facing window, you have no overhead coverage from a roof line coming over, and we install turf or a tree or anything, right? No shade, and we install a side yard, let's say, with turf.
Okay.
That you're going to see burn streaks all the way down that west side wall of the house. Because the window, you'll probably see it with a foot or 2 feet off of the base of that window if it's a low window. If it's a high window, it'll be farther out.
Further out, okay. And is it usually to leave like a pattern that looks just like the window, or is it sort of like an even bake?
So like, let's say your window's here, right? Boom. If it's a westward facing house, you're probably going to see a burn similar in length to the base of the window, offset off the window.
So you can almost see a line? Like
a perfect line. Looks like someone got a lightsaber and went like this, right across the top of the turf.
Wow.
Yep.
So, okay, let's suppose that happened to someone, right? Maybe somebody's watching this video, it's like, that's exactly what happened to me. What do I do now? I mean, obviously, put the film on the window.
Correct.
But can you fix a patch, or is it kind of like, no, man, you got to go seam to seam? Or how does that work?
You have two options.
Okay.
First option, cheapest option, is we cut the actual piece that's burned out and reseam a new piece.
Will it be obvious though? Like
100% obvious.
It will be obvious? Okay, okay, good.
You will 100% be able to see the difference, right? Because there's going to be a lot more seams. The other option is we find the nearest seam and do what you said. We pull up on one end of the turf and the seam and replace that whole stretch of turf.
But still, where those two match up, you're going to probably see. Will it be obvious or not?
Yeah,
our
seams are hidden very, very well, so you're not going to see it as much.
No, but I mean, but if this grass is a year old and versus the new grass,
right?
How long does it take before those two sort of?
A year-old grass is going to look still pretty brand new.
It will. Okay.
Now, if this happens 8 years down the line, which for some reason you change your windows or something crazy happens, you take down a tree, this happens 8 years down the line, then yes, you will notice a large difference between the new turf that's installed versus an 8-year-old turf that's been walked on.
Let's take a look for a minute. Let's see where we are now. Okay, so on the right-hand side. Oh my gosh, look at that. We are at 197, 208, 203, right in that range. That's pretty hot. Okay, let's see over here on this side. Oh, look at that, 163, 166. This is definitely cooler. It's definitely not soaking up that heat.
Look down in there, you can actually see the turf melting.
Where?
The turf right here is melting. You see that melt point?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay, well, let's leave it on there for a minute. That's going to be
So we have melting here and then no melting on the nylon side.
Let's pretend I knew nothing, because I don't know much about turf, right? But in the first place, why do people even want it? I mean, God gave us free grass,
right?
And you're charging out the grass for fake grass.
That's very true, and that's a great question.
Okay,
so
tell me why.
Here's the number one reason: maintenance. Everybody in Houston pays a good amount of money for maintenance.
Okay.
On average, in a 1,000 square foot yard, right, you can pay thousands of dollars a year for maintaining that. your turf maintenance is going to be about $350 a year.
Okay.
So if you install an 1,000 square foot yard of turf versus sod and irrigation, over the course of about 15 years, you'll save about $15,000.
Okay, so it's a long game.
It's a long game.
Okay, it's a long
100%.
game. Okay, and then of course I guess that means too. Of course we don't have much of a winter here in Houston, right?
Nope.
But it means that in the winter it's not like it just turns to junk, right? You actually
Correct.
still have a turf.
Correct.
And especially if you have kids that want to go outside and play on a sunnier day in the winter, it's not like they're out there playing in the dirt. They're playing in the grass.
So the
right?
two biggest complaints that I get are, hey, my dogs and kids are tracking mud and dirt all in the house. The second biggest one is, I come home from work, I don't have any time to mess with my grass, and it looks terrible. And then in the winter, if it's like a Bermuda or zoysia, it gets all brown and it doesn't stay green all year round. How can we solve this problem? Well,
Okay.
you're looking at it right here.
Okay.
Turf.
So tell me, like, where do you service? I know you're based in Houston. Do you cover pretty much this area, or what do you do?
Yeah, so we cover greater Houston area, and then if we have projects out in New Ulm or Columbus, we'll go out there as well. If we get calls from clients and anywhere in Texas,
Yeah.
we will go out there, but there will be a trip charge.
Okay.
So,
All right. So if Elon's watching and he has a 1,000,000 square foot yard in Austin, and you'll go do that one?
oh yeah, not for free,
Yeah.
but for sure we do.
I would say you probably want to collect up front, right? Just in case the market goes bad and he can't pay at the
Yeah,
end.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we'd probably want to use the nylon under the rocket pads. So it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
burn.
Probably use the nylon of the rocket pad. Okay, great. So let's do a check on this. We're going to wrap up here. I'm looking at the hottest spot right there. Looks like 226, 230, 231 through 33. Over here, we're at, 194, 191. This is really amazing. I mean, these guys should be really proud of what they've done. Well, these guys should be really proud of what they've done too, because I like how this looks, right? I like how this looks, but I like how that performs. And maybe in coming years, right, there'll be some improvements, perhaps even to the technology. It might even get better.
Yeah, I think there definitely has to be. And again, we have a solution whether you use the nylon or the resort. Right?
Yeah,
There's
which
a
is,
solution to fix it.
like we talked about with the film and stuff.
Exactly.
Buddy, this has been great.
Pleasure, Jeff.
Appreciate
Thanks
you
so much,
coming
man.
in. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hey, by the way, if you're looking for a great window company near you, I know we didn't talk much about windows today, but check out my website, jeffslist.com. I have a list of great window companies all over the country. I might know somebody near you.